Oscar qualifying HollyShorts Film Festival. We're seated here with Maria and Ethan, who created Last Days of the Lab. How are you doing today, guys?
We're doing really well.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Of course. Will you give us a logline of your film?
Yeah. Last Days of the Lab is a story about a mother and daughter who are sifting through old memories as they prepare to permanently close down their family's photo lab. Yeah.
Is this a story that you lived? It feels like a family story to me.
I think that a lot of our stories that we've done in the past are very literal, and this one we were trying to tell our lives through, a direct experience that isn't ours, but we hid so much of our lives in it.
I think there was more and more that we realized, even lately, we'll watch a cut. We watched a quality control cut 2 weeks ago and noticed something that we put in there that we didn't even realize was really personal.
Oh wow.
So I feel that we never worked in a photo lab, we never had a family business like that, but we've gone to the same photo lab for years in Koreatown called Gold Photo. And we've always wondered what it would be like to work in there, and have gotten to chatting with the workers there, and that's a family owned place, and a lot of the photo labs in LA are. But I think the characters maybe are more true to us than the actual exact circumstances of this business.
Yeah.
Okay, so semi-lived experience.
Yeah.
We heard this term once called autofiction, not autobiographical and not fiction. It's kind of somewhere in between.
Hybrid or something.
Someone said that to me last week, and I was like, wait, I can write any story about myself I want. It's a genre.
Yeah.
So that's great. So you leaned into autofiction.
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
And with the element of photography throughout, I know because there's such short interviews, we asked our filmmakers that were coming in about some of the technical challenges or applications in the process that you had, and I know photography is one of the main themes of your story. How did you photograph photography?
You want to take that one?
I mean, I think we were really trying to think about shooting the film almost like a photograph in a way. And I think that led to decisions of we wanted to shoot 4:3, I think.
The aspect ratio.
Yeah, for multiple reasons. One, that it felt the most similar to a medium format camera. But also thematically, we wanted the characters to feel like they were boxed in by this business that they're running, and so it was great to take both story elements and our love of photography and consider that into every decision of how we wanted to shoot the film.
And technically I feel like we've been film photographers for 6 years now, and we could do all of the technical things. There's a scene where the daughter takes a self-portrait of the mother, and we set that up and actually shot that on film. And she takes apart a VHS camera to try to get at the tape that's stuck inside the camera because it's broken. And I had to teach myself how to do that on YouTube.
That's fun. That's
a week
really
before.
Fun. Yeah.
That was really
developed
exciting.
A photo for real.
Yeah, in between shoot days, we had our friend Jorge, who worked at a photo lab of ours, and we were like, could you rush develop this because we need it for tomorrow's scene, we need the actual photo. So that was really cool. We got to use all of those little connections we've built up over the years.
Wow. How honest were you to the original kind of outline or script that you had written versus what we're seeing on screen?
I feel like it stayed pretty similar, but there were aspects of even just doing prep for the cinematography that ended up informing a scene. For example, when the mother and daughter are watching equipment go out of the lab, that was, and we have a shot of the two of them together, and the mom leaves the frame. That was literally from scouting on the day, taking test shots. We came up with that wasn't supposed to be such a big moment as it was, and we found that.
Yeah, I think there are things that when you're writing, you have an imaginary perfect location in your head, and then when you scout, you find that you can't do everything that maybe you thought of, but then the solutions that you have to pivot to make up for or adapt the script to the real location makes for even better ideas than you could have thought of. So that was really cool. we were originally thinking of the store being in a strip mall with other businesses next to it, and you would park in the strip mall and you could see the store from the car. But the actual location we shot in, called Valley Photo, which is in the valley, didn't have that. So we were like shooting in the parking lot was like an alley behind the store, and you couldn't see the storefront. So then we kind of reconfigured the ending of the film based on the real location.
So it felt like the visuals were, obviously, because it's about photography too, and you both have that background, that visuals were a huge part of the story and the catalyst of like determining kind of where the story would lead based on the locations you're finding, and having your cast live in like almost the real world examples of what your photos would be. What was the casting process like? Was it an aesthetic choice of like, we want them to fit this category? Was it an energy? Kind of how did you cast?
I feel like we really lucked out with our cast. Like they fit so well into the world, and I think we were kind of individually casting the mom and daughter, and then ended up doing like chemistry reads, and the two that ended up playing the leads, Alex Felix and Ariana Ortiz, when we saw them together, it just made so much sense.
Yeah. We had a casting director named Alan Luna who was great. But yeah, that chemistry read was really exciting because we did it over Zoom. But even with that, you could feel their like chemistry, just watching their two little screens, like talking to each other. It was really exciting.
What sort of conversations were you having with them once found to make sure that they understood the importance of the visual language?
Well, something that we talked about recently was also that because the visual language was so, on tripod, not a lot of movement, like I think that gave them a lot of freedom. Like it wasn't like we would do a shot with the steady cam and be like, oh sorry, we have to do that again because like there was something wrong with the camera. Like it allowed like the performance was like the thing.
Yeah.
It's like
set.
a live-in experience because they had this frame to work within. They knew what that frame was, and their understanding, and you're like, let's let it play out.
Yes.
It was very like performance centric, but with the exception of one scene in the middle, which is a flashback on VHS, which was, we wanted it to feel different from like the very like stable compositions to suddenly it's handheld and it's like a home movie. And we actually had our actor who's playing the dad operate the camera for that. So we're shooting on real VHS tape, and we kind of give him, okay, you can go in this room and then go down the hall. And so we kind of lit the whole house. Yeah. And we all just had to like hide in like the bathroom and like different rooms.
Yeah.
And that was really exciting on set because Video Village, we couldn't wire the camera directly to the monitor. So instead we would like literally have to rewind the tape after every take, plug it into this monitor, and everyone would gather around and watch this like home movie being made.
Which is wonderful. It's such a communal element of it, right?
And that was like our first
Great
audience too, because we would hear people like laughing at different moments and improvised things, and
you
it was
know
really
you sold
sweet.
it then, because you were like, okay, we got like what we wanted to evoke, and we're not even like in the film with a score or like trying to do something. It's just the honest, authentic feelings coming out.
It's like how you mentioned in a previous interview today, you love when you as a crew member become an audience member, and when something so magical happens that you're there to watch the story.
Yeah, I'm a DP originally, and so I was saying
awesome.
There's always that moment when you get out of the head of a crew member, and you go into audience, and it's like those few times on set where you're like, oh, this is why I signed on to this project, to tell that story. And it sounds like those were those moments for you guys. So
Totally.
That's so wonderful. Wow. We have to wrap things up, unfortunately. I'm so excited about your film. When is it screening?
It's screening next Saturday on the 19th at 7:30 p.m.
Next Saturday, the 19th, 7:30 p.m.
Great.
Catch it.
Yeah.
And if you can't catch it, that's okay. There's a way you can find it. It's on BitPix. They all are. Check out BitPix.
The virtual festival that is happening alongside HollyShorts. So thank you so much. This will be posted later as well. Thank you for joining us.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
We'll see you guys later.
Maria and Ethan, the last days of the lab. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
This has been another special episode of the Cinematography for Actors podcast. We are here live at the 19th annual Oscar qualifying HollyShorts Film Festival through August 20th. Follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts, and if you are here at the festival, come up to the VIP lounge and say hi.
We also want to give a huge thank you and shout out to our sponsors, which we have so many to help us put this together, and that is Apogee Film Tools, Roscoe, Lightstone Rentals, Canon, and First Mile Technology for the awesome Wi-Fi hookup. As a special gift to our CFA listeners, we have partnered with a company called We Make Movies, you may be familiar with them, to offer discounted production services, including access to comprehensive production insurance and workers' comp for your next shoot. Visit wemakemovies.org/insurance and use code CFA23 on your next intake form for 10% off your quote. We are making filmmaking more accessible. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time on the Cinematography for Actors podcast. Thanks all. Bye.